Okay, welcome to the Chatline podcast. I'm Emily,
And I'm Missy.
and we are in-laws. I'm her daughter-in-law. She's my mother-in-law, and we decided to start a podcast just chatting together. Today, I've got some stuff to tell you about, okay?
Okay.
So, we're going to talk about some tea with Ariana Grande and some stuff that's going on with her. And then I also I want to have this segment, if you're okay with it, called Ask My Mother-in-Law. Nothing too crazy, but just I've some cool questions I've got for you. I saw your snow pictures. They are the cutest thing I've ever seen.
Oh, you're very kind. I know that my dear husband is going to hear this, so I'm going to try to be nice for a second. I was like, dear God, I need Emily. I had this outfit in mind. I wanted this snow deck picture, and I was like, this is so narcissistic, but yet I was like, I want some cute photos in the snow. And so I would try to tell him, okay, because I think you saw the first two in a black and white sweater. They're from a mile away. And while it was cute, I was like, that's not really what I have in mind. So, do the right, not the vibe. So if you could take the long shot and then just keep coming in to get closer and closer. And he did great. And there one actually I really love, and that's really hard for me to say about a personal picture. But the one where I'm in the hat and I'm turned looking away, it's my favorite I've taken in a minute.
It's so cute.
Yeah. But I wanted the professional photographer here on site. Yeah.
No, it's always so hard. That one picture that we have that is we don't ever speak about her.
Yeah. We'll just tell people that we both no longer have the outfit that we were wearing, and we felt cute before we saw the picture.
The confidence before versus after.
Yeah, that's awful. I'll have to say this because I'm a Gen Xer, right? And so back in the day, you'll see all this on TikTok, where Gen Xers couldn't do this and didn't have this and all of this. But something that is very, very true is that you would take those little disposable cameras, and you and your friend would take all the pictures all day long, and you had no idea what it looked like until 2 weeks when you got it in the mail. And so then you would go through them. And so at least your confidence was okay for a couple of weeks until you got the photos back. And then you were like, that's not what I was going for. But
that's so crazy because I feel like I need to pose and see my different angles. I can't imagine waiting and just hoping that it's turned out.
Yes. I mean, we spent all our babysitting money on the little disposable cameras and developing, and and you would wait and they would come in this little envelope. Yeah. It's crazy to even think about that now, doing that. Even me, to think about that's how we did it. It's crazy.
Okay. So the Ariana Grande, and I think it's Ethan Slater. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. I did not know who he was.
I didn't either. When you sent me a note about it, I Googled, and that's how I know.
Yeah. So so they were filming Wicked, right? And I I heard some rumors going about this happened with this guy or whatever, but I didn't know what it was because they didn't announce, oh, she was filming it or who's in it or whatever back when I had originally heard this. But now all this stuff has come out. He and his wife are getting a divorce. She is released this book, and I think she's a marriage counselor, psychologist, therapist. Yeah. And okay.
Was she currently married as well?
Ariana Grande?
Yeah.
I don't think she was in a relationship. So they're filming, and their characters aren't even in a love story together at all. Yeah. So what happened, from my understanding from TikToks and Instagram and everything, is that her and Ethan developed this relationship, developed, this affair, and got found out. It just became public. And her response to it was releasing 2 different songs, if I'm understanding them correctly. Okay. Have you heard the song Yes and?
No.
Okay. So this song, the lyrics are pretty much yes, and what are you going to do about it? Yes, this happened, and what? What are you going to do?
My word.
Yes, and it's about cheating. Yeah.
Wow, that's nervy and just plain rude. Do you know what I mean? That's not being a girl's girl for sure. When I first saw, when I Googled, and the first picture that came up as him.
Yes. I don't. Yeah.
He had some better ones. So I'm sure that first one was like some kind of character he had played. Like, I've not seen Wicked, so maybe that's his character in Wicked. I'm not sure. But I was like, what? My first thought was he must be really smart or really rich. I was just like, what am I not
He's got a great
seeing?
personality.
Yeah. Got a great personality.
Yeah.
Huh. But
No.
I hate that, like, that she did that. Like, that is crazy. Mean.
Yes.
It's mean, girl.
Just plain mean. Like,
Yeah.
now, like, I've seen people say, like, oh, well, he was the one in the marriage. And I do, like, yeah, he was the one in the relationship, but she actively went for a man who was married. That's not good behavior anyway. You know what I mean?
I think it's both of them, right? I mean, let's be clear, it's both of them. But the song is a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level. I didn't know anything about that.
Yes, and it's
But
very,
unfortunately, you know what? Unfortunately, I'm going to go listen to the song after this and give her another play.
You said,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there she goes. Who's the smart one here,
I mean, I guess capitalizing on it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
now,
okay.
did you see where they are actually living in an apartment together now? I thought I Googled that. Oh gosh, watch me be wrong. Maybe it's just a big rumor, but I think they're in an apartment together now. And like, he's separated from his wife, Lily somebody, right?
Yes. I feel like it starts with an L.
Yeah, I just Googled it literally like an hour ago. So hopefully that's the most current.
That's so, I can't wrap my head around that. Like, imagine, like, you can't turn on the radio. You can't you can't be around any kind of media because everything is so popular with Wicked right now. Like, in stores, like, all these toys, all these, like, Target has like a collection. Yeah, there's no escaping
I hadn't thought of that. That is rough. So what I was reminded of, and I don't know if you remember this or were even born when this happened, but you know about how Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt ended up together?
I don't, but I know that. Okay, yeah, tell me about it because I don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm on the fringes. I wasn't like following it like a crazy person, but when they were in the Mr. and Mrs. Black, I think the name of it, oh my word, I should have Googled this. But anyway, he was with Jennifer Aniston. And we're on set, and I knew nothing. Like, you'll always see like a rumor on a magazine or something like that, or, it would be on TikTok. And I was like, oh, there's no way, whatever. They're just starting this rumor because of this movie to get more hype. And then I saw them announcing like the award nominees for something. I don't remember if it was the Golden Globes, Emmys, Oscars. I don't remember. He was on stage and she came on stage and she was ridiculously making eyes at this man. Wow. I mean, obvious.
Like, and while he was still with Jennifer Aniston?
Yes, the film had wrapped up, and this was, I guess, maybe the first time they had seen each other since then or what. I have no idea. And that's when I believed everything. I was like, she is for real into him. I don't know how he's feeling back because, he was trying to kind of play it cool. But yeah. And so it got me thinking, even though like you were saying that these two were not love interest on Wicked, you were around each other so many hours. And it's like so many like work romances that you hear about or situations that happen. When you throw yourself into a situation like that, no matter how committed you are to your partner and you are just with someone for that amount of time that a production takes, you are either going to fall in love or kill each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you're either going to, I don't ever want to see this person again. They're crazy. I don't want to deal with them. Or you are going to love them. And I mean, it could be brother, sister, but I would say you're really having to watch your P's and Q's to keep at that level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you start developing inside jokes and you feel like your spouse doesn't, or whoever, your partner is at the time, they don't understand, especially if they're not. Like, I think he's an actor, Ethan Slater, and his wife, I think, was a therapist or something like that. Yeah. So two totally different worlds. Yeah. And now you're spending all this time with a very high level, like A-list celebrity.
Yes.
Yeah. Who is showing active interest in you.
Yes. And just, okay, this is complete fiction. Right? But just imagine him saying something like, you know what? The New York Rangers are my favorite hockey team. It'd be so cool to see them one day. I've never gotten to do that. That would just be cool. He says it at lunch in a group in passing. all of a sudden the next day he has the perfect tickets to the New York Rangers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could see because of the amount of money and stuff that she has.
Yeah.
No big deal to her. But to him, it could be like his greatest dream. And he would be like, oh my word. Now, I'm not saying that happened at all. But I mean, if I'm pursuing somebody, I'm going to give it all I have. And I don't even know, like, are they saying she pursued him or that it was just kind of this thing that happened and they were friends and then they became more, which is the typical story.
I really don't know what I feel like because of how I feel about Ariana Grande in general. I feel like she was like pursuing it. I'm sure, I don't think either one of them are innocent in this. You know, he is the one in a committed married relationship.
Right.
He should shut things down. He should be like, no, not interested. I don't care who's coming at him. Yeah, I don't care who's coming at Wesley. He better say no, you know?
Right.
But at the same time, I really feel like it was her, which doesn't make sense when you look at them because Ariana Grande, you know, pop star, super pretty. And then
I saw some other pictures in his defense as I kept looking because I was like, this cannot be what this dude looks like. I think he is cuter with other hair. Let's say that. You know, when his hair is different and more modern, I thought he was a cutie. But I've never heard him speak. I've never, you know, I literally know nothing about him. And to be honest, I don't know a lot about her either.
Yeah.
She's just somebody that I've never like connected with. And so I don't follow or anything like that.
Well, this is not the first time she's like released a song that's like about this kind of thing, treating. Okay. I forget the name of it exactly, but it's like break up with your boyfriend because I'm bored. Or no, break up with your girlfriend because I'm bored. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, and it's like talking to this, and you know how these artists are and songs are. Maybe she didn't even write it herself, but this is a pattern at this point.
Yeah.
She was like,
I mean, she's capitalizing on it, right? I mean, she is. So...
Maybe it's all planned. Maybe he was never like, you know, maybe his marriage was already like, oh, we're not, you know, we're separating or whatever. And then let's all capitalize on this. Let's all get money from this. Because she's got a book she's releasing. So the wife does. Yeah.
But I mean, Emily, is it on marriage? Because if it's on marriage, she's in trouble.
You know,
he could have given her 6 months. You know what I mean? And said, yeah, let's make this book happen. But I'm going to be, you know, over here with Ariana this whole time, but we're going to keep it under wraps.
Yeah.
Good grief. If that's the case, then I lose all respect for him. I didn't have any anyway, but, you know, it was, no, man. Wow.
Look it up now because I want to
look it up. We must know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It comes up. Like the first thing that comes up is Ethan Slater, Ariana Grande controversy.
Yeah.
Ethan
but it
Slater
really did,
wife.
like you're looking that up. It really did make me think about Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt because everybody was like, no, nothing will break up Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt. But here came Angelina Jolie.
Okay. So it's not a book. It's a personal essay. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Is it
Lily
like a
J
memoir?
is her name. And she said, how does my divorce make you feel? Published on The Cut this December last year, 2023.
How does my divorce make you feel?
Yeah. Her feelings about the public downfall of her marriage and her struggles with the Wicked press tour.
Oh, then she'll make bank too.
Yeah.
She said.
But now I'm doubting that she was a therapist.
Yeah,
Lily J.
Was she a sex therapist? Well, no, there's no way no man is leaving a sex.
I mean, I don't think it. Oh, wait, no, she's an actress. She played in Downton Abbey.
What?
Yeah.
I am way behind. Which character did she play? Can you see?
I'm looking. How does my divorce make you feel? Okay, Lily J, that's great. Who did you play?
Everybody has been screaming at us for our whole podcast, trying to tell us who these people are.
We're like, they don't even know. We're learning. We're trying to learn.
This is real-time learning. I'm going to reach down and grab water while you're looking at that.
I think it's saying she was Cousin Rose. Who was Cousin Rose?
I would have to see a picture. Who's cousin of the actual family?
Yeah.
Cousin Rose. Oh, my word. No.
She's
because
blonde?
Cousin Rose. Oh, my word. Is it in the series or the movie that she played Cousin Rose?
That's a good point.
Let me see if I can pull her up because
she was Cinderella in the live action Cinderella.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she's beautiful. Like, yeah, that's insane.
Cousin Rose. I'm looking her up just to see if I recognize her. Yeah, Lady Rose. That's what I thought. See, I don't know why they call her cousin because she's the youngest daughter that dies. Sorry, spoiler alert.
What?
Because okay, this is big time spoiler alert. Okay,
Okay.
so are you okay with me saying it?
Yeah, you already, do you remember that day you told me and Wesley the biggest spoiler?
You died and you were like,
What? We were just like, oh, we started watching Downton Abbey again. We're so excited. You said, oh, yeah, that part when Matthew died was a horror. We said, what?
well, lessons you learned from your mother-in-law was never tell her anything till you're completely done with the series. Well, and I have to learn, I'm going to circle back around to Rose in just a second. I have to learn that when you are super excited about things means you just started something. Do you know what I mean? Like you just like 2 episodes in or a half episode. And so I'm thinking you binged it, right?
Right.
Because that's kind of how I am. I'm just like all in all the time until I can get something done, which is not fun. But anyway, but Rose is the youngest daughter who's much more modern. And so she ended up falling in love with the chauffeur.
Oh, she was my favorite.
Yes, she's darling. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, her story in Downton Abbey was my favorite. And she got the Scottish driver, right? And she was the nurse.
Yes. And he has very different political views and all that. Yeah, it was a great storyline.
Wow. Yeah, so she's not a therapist.
Or maybe she played one on TV.
Yeah.
That's where that rumor
I got
started.
that then. I wonder if I was like I was watching like a therapist reacts video or something. I don't know.
It could have been, or it actually could have been a rumor online, that she was in school for therapy at one point. So everybody says, oh, she's a therapist.
Okay, sorry. I just found something else out. There's like now big speculation like that the Ariana Grande and Ethan have broken up because he didn't go to the Golden Globes with her last night.
I saw that. I mean, I don't think they've broken up. I think
so?
They didn't want to deal with the public eye.
You know what I wonder? Because all this has like resurfaced again. I wonder if they're like trying to drum up controversy again.
It's always about drumming up, in my opinion.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as bad press.
Well, that's a Sandoval, right? I was all into that. But yeah, most of the time, let's say 99% of the time, all press is good press. Because like I said, I'm going to go listen to that song after this. I would have never listened to that song otherwise.
Yeah. Okay, here's the other
song. I might
put
on my crucifix as I'm listening to.
You're like, stay away from
rumors. Yeah. Anyway. But speaking of the Golden Globes, and if I'm jumping ahead of you, say no, we're not going to talk about that yet. But I heard that's where the big engagement ring was spotted with the couple, right?
Yes, Zendaya and Tom, who I love because Wesley loves Spider-Man. You know that. But they're like in the Spider-Man movies, like the newer ones. Yeah, Zendaya is the girl that Spider-Man like is in love with.
Mary J?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. MJ. Yeah. I could be wrong. I've been wrong many times today already, but I think
everybody's screaming and commenting, and that's fine. We like.
Please correct our mistakes.
Yeah, with your 5-star review, correct.
I think they started dating when they were filming Spider-Man together.
Okay, there's another example, right? Mm-hmm. Of like what happens when you're filming and production, but that's a very sweet story because they've been together for years, right?
Yeah, I think they had like a period where like people like speculated if they were on a break. They may have actually been, I don't remember, but they've been like pretty solid for a long time, and everybody loves them. Like, have you seen where they did the lip syncing battle together?
No.
It's okay. It's so funny because Tom dresses up like Rihanna and like does like the whole big dance to it, like full force. Yeah. So you'll have to see that in a minute.
I will have to see that. I've seen him a lot on the Graham Norton show, like on the TikTok things. Like, I'm not recommending that show, but like how you'll just catch a clip and it'll be something funny. And for some reason, I got into the Tom Holland algorithm there for a while.
Yeah. Well, I'm a huge Marvel nerd. And he, like, whenever he does, like, the press tours for Marvel, he was, like, horrible at, like, keeping secrets and spoilers. And so, like, he would, like, accidentally, like, say something. And like it's like known that he does that, like to the point to where they never let him go by himself. Like he always has other people.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So
Well,
I'm
you
really
wouldn't
excited.
know. Like, you would be like, oh, yeah, everybody knows this. And then you're like, what?
Like,
It's
you know,
like,
this part in the movie.
you're excited about that engagement.
I think it's like they seem like they're in love, you know? You
Yeah.
never know, but I like them. Yeah.
Yeah.
And her dress, I don't know if you've seen it. Did you see any pictures of her dress from last night?
I've not. I need to look because the red carpet part or whatever it is of the Golden Globes is my favorite part. Like
Yes.
seeing everybody's outfits.
Yes. I think it was, you know, sometimes celebrities, you can tell like when they're in between stylists or something. But like there have been horrible decisions made for some people. But
Yeah.
her dress last night was gorgeous. It was like
Was
this like
it?
burnt orange and it like looks
Oh,
so good with her skin tone.
that's what I was gonna say. I
Yeah.
bet she was stunning.
Yes.
And not hardly anybody can wear that kind of color.
Exactly.
So she's really smart to do that.
Yes. And it was like a silk satin and she had her hair like in a bob and it was curled. It was very like
Oh,
classic Hollywood looking.
I'll
Looked
have
really,
to
but
look that up.
if I understood right, because I didn't watch it, I just like watched clips of it. She like never like announced her engagement. She just like showed off her ring.
That's what I heard
Yeah.
as well. Like, because I saw when I Googled this to make sure I knew who they were and everything, which, sorry, I'm just out of pop culture a lot right now. That's what they were saying. They were saying she was wearing the ring, but I think now they've officially announced it like this morning, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so
official,
sweet.
but she didn't say anything last night. She just like posed with it,
Yeah.
which I think is
Man, I
iconic.
wish I had thought I would have looked at who won the Golden Globes to see if I even knew anybody. Like, I have gotten out of that.
Do you know who Demi Moore is? Because I don't.
Oh my. Okay. Have you heard of the Brat Pack? Okay, so she is one of, my understanding is she's one of the Brat Packs. So there's a whole documentary. Okay, do you know Rob Lowe, possibly?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rob Lowe, hot. And he was a hot man when I was a teenager, and that's why all of these Gen Xers were on keto. It's because Rob Lowe did that Atkins. Anyway,
It's so crazy to me.
Like St. Elmo's Fire and all of that. Like, if you look at, they're like pop culture classics. You know, they're not like Oscar. But what is his name? Oh, my word. He did a documentary. Emilio Estevez was one of the Brat Pack. Judd Nelson, which I don't think they actually talked to him. But Andrew McCarthy was, I personally, like, never thought he was one of the cute ones. Sorry, Andrew. You know, but he did this documentary about how the Rat Pack, that being labeled that way, the Brat Pack, sorry, not the Rat
It was
Pack.
like the Rat Pack.
Well, the Rat Pack was further back, like well before my time, like with a certain group of Hollywood guys, Dean Martin, that type of era, which again,
Okay.
way before my time even. So then a journalist labeled this group of young 20-somethings in Hollywood as the Brat Pack. I think even like Molly Ringwald was in that group. I don't know if you know her from like 16 years old. Yeah, I mean, it's so funny because when you said this Demi Moore, I was like you when I say, who's Ariana Grande? What? I do know that, but you know, like that's a good example, like how popular she was. She did very well for herself. Ghost with Patrick Swayze, like the whole pottery scene that you.
Okay, so I know about the Patrick Swayze pottery scene. Yes.
That's her.
Okay.
She's the star of Ghost.
Okay, so she's done like a lot of movies.
She's done a lot of movies. She did one, Jane. It's about something Jane, of where she was like one of the first Navy SEAL. No, I'm getting this all confused. But she went to like one of the elite military places, and it was something Jane. G.I. Jane. Was G.I. Jane.
Okay.
That was her. She married Ashton Kutcher for a very long time.
I didn't know that. I thought he was only ever married to Mila. No? Okay.
No, and I mean, she was much older than him. And they stayed married, I think, quite a while. I mean, especially for a Hollywood thing. So, yeah. But she is in, so she won, or she at least got nominated?
No, she won. I'm 90% sure that she won because I saw a video of her like family like celebrating. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So she won a Golden Globe.
And I did see where Jodie Foster won an award that someone was mad about because they wanted this other person to win. And I thought, good grief, who can complain about Jodie Foster winning?
Yeah.
Which, do you know her?
No.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna nod like I do.
Yeah, she has been in many things and is probably one of the best actresses of all time, honestly.
I don't
Like, she's
know people's
amazing.
names, but I'll know their
Yeah.
faces or what they've done.
No.
But
I
yeah.
agree with that. Like, it is only because these people have been so big, mega star that I can pull their names out. I'm
Gotcha.
kind of circling back in case I frustrate anybody. Andrew McCarthy did a whole documentary. I think it is called The Brat Pack. Like, if you look it up on a streaming service, you're going to be able to watch it. And he goes and interviews the journalists that labeled them. He goes and interviews as many of the Brat Pack as will talk to him and talks about their relationship with each other.
Wow.
It's got quite a bit of language, but it's really good about, I think you would even enjoy it to some degree.
Okay.
Especially if you took it 15 minutes at a time.
Yeah.
But you would get to meet all of these people that you don't know.
Yeah.
But it actually hurt some of their careers because they were labeled as this brat pack, but yet it kind of in a way made everybody know who they were. So it's kind of weird. And now that they're mature people looking back on it and their perspectives, but didn't hurt Rob Lowe, girl.
I did not know that. You said nothing could hurt Rob Lowe.
No. The Breakfast Club, they all of the Brat Pack were in that Breakfast Club.
Yeah, I've seen the Breakfast Club.
Yeah, that's him. That's the Breakfast.
Okay.
So, wow.
Is Rob Lowe in the Breakfast Club?
I actually don't think he is in the Breakfast Club.
Because I only know Rob Lowe from Parks and Rec.
St. Elmo's Fire was an old movie that he was.
What is that movie about?
Think he was in the Breakfast. St. Elmo's Fire?
Yeah, because it's the third time you mentioned it. I don't know what it is.
Sorry, have I mentioned it 3 times? Well, I don't know that I ever was actually allowed to watch that movie. And Wes, my son, your husband, has talked about this a lot about with The Godfather, that I should be able to watch it now because it's our PG-13 now, because I can't deal with violence, violence and nudity. I try to stay away from. But, language doesn't bother me at all. Yeah. So
you're go on.
I'm okay. But I think that's one that I don't know if I would want to watch it or not. But I know my sister snuck to be able to watch it. And I just know it's one of those kind of, I think they all were in college.
Okay.
There normally was a situation in most of those movies where somebody's friend doesn't make it. I mean, there's always that element, it seems in an 80s movie. So yeah, I don't know if I could handle it. One of my sister's favorite movies was The Officer and a Gentleman, with Richard Gere and people like that. And I couldn't stand it. It's spoiler alert. It's got a sad part. So, I mean, I just can't handle that kind of stuff.
No,
I all happy endings and everybody's great at the end.
Yes, I can't do sad movies. That one movie, oh gosh, I have no idea what it's called. And I've never actually seen it. I just know the really sad part where it's a little boy and a little girl. And he goes to get her ring for her and he dies because of the bees that sting him. It's so sad. It's and it's Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, I thought it was Paper Moon. I know what you're talking about, and I think I saw it one time and was traumatized and have blocked it out.
No, yeah, I can't do Old Yeller. Old Yeller makes me.
And that's horrible. That's a horrible movie. And then there's another one. Well, I'll drive people crazy trying to remember it. But yeah, I don't like.
Everyone's gonna know what we're talking about.
I know, and they'll be y'all are crazy.
If you know the movies we're talking about, please comment so that we can figure out what we don't know.
And please tell us if they're sad because we don't want to watch it.
Trigger warning, this is sad.
Yeah, please. I need all the trigger warnings for sure. Speaking of trigger warnings, are you into, we're going to veer off, sorry. Are you into crime stuff or no?
Yes, I love true crime stuff.
This whole Karen Reed thing has got me, it's getting crazier if it's even possible. So I'm just trying to stay up to date on that. But
okay, wait. So Karen Reed, is that the woman who did everything right while she was running?
No, that's Lakin. I don't know Lakin's last name, but Lakin is, I'll just leave Karen Reed with, she was the one who was super drunk and she is being accused of killing the police officer. And leaving him in the snow. Yeah.
Yes.
There's a lot of, I personally believe she's being framed, and we can get into all of that, but it would take
Yeah.
a whole podcast or longer. But the whole Lakin thing really can freak a person out because
Yeah.
she really did do 99.999% of all the right thing. The only thing that I could think of that would have made her more protected would have been to have a buddy, right?
And even,
Yeah, well, I know from like trail running in the past, it's not easy to find a buddy. And especially, I think she runs like a 7-minute mile. It's like, who's going to be able to keep up with that? I mean, she was great. And
yeah.
unfortunately, this is terrible. But when I told this to Mark, my husband, he said, oh, then the guy obviously was in front of her if she was running. Because I said, she was running a 7-minute mile. And then I said, what scared me, and I think it's because, or what really got to me, was I wear a Garmin Forerunner, and that's what she was wearing, is my understanding. And boom, her heart rate was going, and then it stopped. Like, so they knew exactly when her heart stopped, which, I mean, so killer. But it just, yeah. But yeah, like you were about to say, I think even if she had a buddy, who knows? Because that man was after a woman this morning.
And I hate this, but I think it is like, unfortunately, like just the reality that we live in, that even if she had like another woman, it would needed to be in like 5 more women. You know what I mean? Yeah, because from what it sounds like, that guy who did, that would have done it to another woman too, and maybe a third. I don't. Yeah, that's so, and it's horrible because sometimes like you hear these Dateline stories and you're like, oh, well, you're running at night, down, a terrible part of town. Not that anyone, deserves to be.
We should be able to do that, but we also need to have sense. Yeah.
Yes, that's a good balance. But she did, it was midday, right? She did
I
everything.
think it was in the morning. I think it was not super early, but it was, I'm thinking 9 in the morning. I might be wrong, but it was.
That's reasonable. Yes.
It wasn't like 5 a.m. No.
Yeah.
No.
That's horrible.
Yes. And I, first of all, thought, because if you've heard this story, and I think you and I have actually talked about this before, her mom and her always called each other, and her mom on the phone was actually someone who she would kind of run with, if you want to say that, while they were talking. And she couldn't reach her mom that morning. And I can't imagine like how her mom feels about that. But yet also, I have to think it was grace of God, because can you imagine if her mom had been on that phone? I don't think it would have stopped him.
No, it absolutely wouldn't have, because it's just a phone. Like, there's nothing that you can, like, she can't like come through the phone and like physically be there, unfortunately, and it's just false sense of security for us. It's not real security, unfortunately, other than someone would be able to hear. And her mom didn't need to hear what was going on.
No.
That's no. So yeah, she's got to deal with that guilt. That's horrible. And I can't imagine how she feels, but maybe that gives her, a sense of peace, at least, that like, oh, she didn't hear like what happened and what went down, because to hear that and then not be able to help her, and then,
I cannot imagine.
Yeah. Because even if she hung up right then and called the police, how long would it have taken the police to get there? They would,
Well, Lakin called 911. Yeah. Lakin called 911. So, I mean, when we say she did everything right, I mean, I don't know that she had any kind of a weapon on her. Like, I was advised to
she had pepper spray, didn't she?
I don't remember. Surely she did, as much as everything else she had. But I mean, you would think she would have had it in her hand, because, you can run with them in your hand like that. So I don't know.
I thought I heard that she sprayed him and he kept on anyway.
That's drugs, isn't it?
I could be wrong. That could be something that I'm not hearing, but yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let's talk about something else.
So on a different note,
Sorry, I brought up true crime. I will tell you this. You know that I subscribe to an ex-FBI field agent. I love her. Her name is Jody Weber. I think if you are into anything like that, highly recommend her podcast. And I think she only does it through Patreon, so you have to pay for it, and it's well worth it.
Yes.
But I've had to cancel my membership.
No.
It's too much for me. Like, I love it, but it makes me scared. and
Yeah.
paranoid, and I trust everything she says about court cases. So, I might dip in and out, every 3 or 4 months to kind of catch up.
Yeah.
But I have to fill my mind with positive things or I become an anxious, frightful person.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so much of it around us too. Like you could turn on literally any kind of screen and you're going to find like the most horrible story ever. And it be true, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
it's awful.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I know you love true crime.
Yeah. Well,
And
in bits and pieces.
Yes. Yes. And I think that's something that we connect on though, like, because we could talk about that and we both are like, okay, a moment, please, that's too much.
Yeah.
So in the Ask My Mother-in-Law section, I was going to ask, so getting to know your in-laws and like trying to impress them can kind of be like very daunting and challenging. You made it so easy for me. I'm so blessed and so lucky for that because you're amazing. And we're doing this. Like I obviously love being around you.
Yeah. Healing is mutual for sure.
Yeah, well, thank you. Living in I know you guys aren't technically Southern in Kentucky, but I think of it as. So connecting with family here in the South is very much through food, through cooking, through
Absolutely.
Yeah, recipes. And Wesley is obsessed with recipes. He's family recipes, bringing them down through generations. I don't know if you knew that about him.
I did not know that about him.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
It's very special to him. So what's one thing that you learned?
Sorry, I'm going to interrupt for just a second.
Yeah.
I would love for you to tell me which ones he remembers and loves. Okay. Do you know what I mean? Because his list is going to be very different than Gabe, our other son's list.
Right.
Right. And it's going to be different probably than what I think he would be referring to, so that would just be interesting.
Well, now I'm trying to think of what he's mentioned in the past because he'll talk about it sometimes.
Yeah, you can just write it down whenever. I just was I would be curious about that. Or just even ask him, hey, when you talk about this, what are you talking about? And I think he would talk about my black file card thing that has recipes in it, but maybe not. He might not even know that's where all my good stuff is kept. He's
mentioned stuff that he remembers as a kid, eating or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what or why he feels so connected. I don't know if there's a moment in time where he's oh yes, this. But I think he feels connected to family through recipes. You know what I mean?
That is neat. Yeah. That's really neat.
Yeah. Just he's so funny because he won't mention that or say anything like that, and then he'll suddenly we'll be in the middle of something and he'll be yeah, I remember this and it was a really great time. It's what? Let me write this down.
Yeah.
You're pouring your heart out.
Yeah. Let me secretly press record on my phone so I can be in the moment. But
really, though.
Yeah. Sorry, I interrupted that. So what is your?
No. That was perfect. I was just gonna ask if did you learn anything? Did you try to impress Connie, Mimi through cooking? What, and if so, what was it?
I tried to impress Connie more with cleaning, and just trying to keep things neat, which girl, I would have our house spotless. And the one day that it was a wreck and I felt relaxed, here they would come over. It never failed. But as far as food, I think I always tried to get Sam's attention, Mark's dad, through food. And for sure, I would make homemade bread or something like that. And I would not take it over if I was not oh, wow, this is the best bread we've ever had in our life, kind of a thing. So I remember making a honey whole wheat bread when the kids were little. And I remember Sam, and this is why you remember it, right? Because it actually worked. Sam was oh my goodness, you could sell this, which to me was the best compliment ever. Yeah. And then also, still to this day, he loves a coconut macaroon that I make. And it's not the macaroon, the French stuff. That's not what it is. I don't know why it's called a macaroon. What?
Is it the little cookies or not the little cookies?
Yeah, it's the little cookie, but nothing like the French thing. It's just, honest to goodness, a glob of coconut mixed with sweetened condensed milk that you cook. And then once it's cooked, you drizzle it with chocolate. And it tastes like one of the freshest Mounds candy bar you've ever had. And he will eat and eat and eat those things.
And that's the biggest compliment.
What?
I said that's the biggest compliment.
Absolutely. And so, like, if I'm trying to, like, get on good, Sam's good side or whatever, I'll make those.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just so funny how simple they are, but they really are yummy. And like I said, I have no idea why they're called macaroons, because it's not like what you see at the bakery that they call that. So, I don't know. But yes, cooking, cleaning, all kind of the traditional things felt like were very important for me, like to impress my in-laws, but I don't think they ever were impressed, to be honest. I think they were just like, here she comes again. I mean, I don't know.
Well, you
And
never
I've had to
know.
be okay with that, I've had to be okay. Like, I'm me and they're them, and we love each other, and it is what it is.
Well, that generation is also like not gonna like reach out and like talk and like say like, oh, we really love this, or oh, you did such, like, they're not. That's just not like the mindset's not there. You know what I mean?
That's very true.
Maybe they did notice and really appreciate, and just never said anything.
Sure, Emily.
No, I understand exactly what you mean, because when we first started like our marriage engagement, and like you guys would come over to Wesley's apartment, even though I didn't live here, I was like, it's got to be perfect, it's got to be spotless, because I knew like I wanted you guys to like see a difference in like, this is so embarrassing, in his life before me and then after.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure, and we did. Do you remember the baseboards in Bowling Green? Yeah,
the baseboards were not the problem for me. It was the old ham in the fridge that was the problem.
I think it was our second time ever meeting you, we were helping Wesley move. And when I saw you stick around for all of that grossness, I was like, almost killed yourself with bleach in the bathroom from respiratory issues. I mean, it was that bad. I was like, Wesley has no idea what a great girl he has, because this is above and beyond.
Well, he was traveling so much, like, to come see me. Like, I knew, like, he hadn't, like, he was literally, like, only, like, sleeping in his apartment. He wasn't, like, staying there, doing anything there. He would, like, be there, wake up, go to work, come see me, go back to bed. Or, like, we would talk on the phone, and he wasn't, like, going to be cleaning while on the phones. Yeah. There was...
So he bought that hand before he ever met you, apparently.
It was, I don't know, when I picked it up and then there was just nasty juice, it's going to be, okay.
When you throw the whole fridge away.
We need to get out of there. And I was so nervous too. I was like trying to like scrub. I was like, he needs a security deposit back. And Wesley's like, I'm not getting it back. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
I did not realize.
Still, you want to leave it well, is the way I've always felt about those kind of things. Yeah. So,
well, I was in the bathroom, like pouring bleach down, pouring Windex down, like down the drain, getting rid of it. There's no telling what kind of horrible gas I created in there, because I was just pouring everything. And then I shut the door too. So who knows? Yeah, there's a little biohazard there.
Yeah. For those of you at home, don't mix cleaners.
Don't mix cleaners.
That's your hint of the day.
Okay, so moral of today, we don't leave our men around movie sets.
Amen. Yeah, that's a good tip. I don't know, though. The money's real good, Emily.
Yeah, as long as you're bringing home a big old check,
Right. No, for sure. No movie sets for our men.
Exactly. Thanks for tuning in to the Chatline. We're the in-law duo you didn't know you needed.
Yes, and if you don't mind to hit that subscribe and leave a 5-star review, it helps people to find us in the future.
Yep. Alrighty. See you next week.
Next time.